Rice was just in a fantastic game at Bally's. The game lasted about 7 hours. For one, you want to know why the game lasted 7 hours? Link at the top of the screen. Because no one got the worst player in the game ejected, like people like to do at Aria. Rice was playing at Aria to start today. Game was okay. Rice went over to Bally's, and Rice started a new game, Table 3. Seat 2 on Table 3, Rice stayed until he left. It took about 7.5 hours. When Seat 2 was sober, debatably, early in the night, he was bad. Just a bad player. When he got drunk and hopped up on Red Bull, he was just playing tons of all-ins, playing tons of hands blind. It was fantastic. Rice played 6 hands against him. Here's all 6. The first one, not in terms of money, might be the most brutal hand Rice ever endured. Rice raised to 10, hoping exactly what happened would happen. C2 went all in. He didn't look. He rebought for 100. He had just lost the hand before. He rebuys. As soon as the chips are slid to him, he shoves them back in across the line. He never looked at his cards. It was clear. So Rice calls with Rice's pocket queens. Run out. King, queen, 5, ace, 5. Rice showed instantly queens, and after that run out, Rice has queens full. The other guy, the only chance he has, pocket kings, pocket aces, pocket 5s. He flips over the first card. It's a 5. He flips over the second card. He has quad 5s. Fortunately, Rice made it back the next hand. It was like the exact same thing. He went all in without looking, and Rice was last to act. Rice looked down at a king 2, which is not Rice's normal game, but against a blind hand, Rice is willing to take king high. C2 had queen high, Rice had king high. C2 did not improve, so Rice won that money right back, literally the very next hand. But then C2 got up to like $300, and Rice had ace-jack suited on a jack 8-7 flop. Rice bet. Facing this bet from Rice, C2 looked for the first time, went all in, didn't love it because of how much money it was, and because Rice can't really improve all that easily, but Rice wasn't folding. He flopped a straight, and Rice did turn hearts, but they didn't come in on the river, so Rice lost about 300 back to that guy third hand. And this guy, by the way, was picking up an incredible amount of strong starting hands playing blind. After a while, Rice started looking very closely whether he was actually playing these hands blind or not. He was. He picked up, Rice thinks, every pocket pair, 10s or better, in addition to ace-king suited. So it was just like an incredible run for this guy, even though he ended up losing like $3,000 throughout the night. Rice used a little finesse on the next 2 hands Rice played against this guy. The next one, Rice had ace-7 offsuit. Rice limped. C2 made it 50 bucks. It got back around to Rice. No one else in the hand. Rice shoved. A7. C2 didn't love it. $300 effective. And was thinking for a long time. Asked if he could see one of Rice's cards. Rice said Rice would show him one and he would pick. Rice didn't know which card was on top, the ace or the 7, which card was on the bottom. Rice spread the 2 cards out. Rice asked the guy, which one do you want to see? He chose one. Rice flipped it up. It was the 7, which is exactly what Rice was hoping for. He instant called with king queen. Rice shows the ace-7. Run out wasn't amazing because the flop had a queen on it, but Rice turned an ace, which is very good because Rice was about to leave if that ace didn't show up, and Rice won $300 back from that guy with the ace-7. Next hand against this guy, Rice did the same thing. On jack 8-5, 5 jack, Rice had king jack. C2 bet 15 on the river, which was a surprisingly very small bet after how much he raised on the turn. Rice made it $115. He didn't love it. Rice offered him the same thing as last time. Rice was willing to show one. This time, Rice staggered the cards a little bit, purposely putting the king a little closer to C2. C2 was in C2, Rice was in seat 7, 8-handed table, very far from each other across the table. And he did exactly what Rice wanted. He picked the one that was a little closer to him. Rice shows the king, and then he calls the extra 100, and then Rice shows the jack afterwards. And now before Rice tells you the last hand Rice played against this guy, you need to know what was going on. At this point, another guy who had been playing at the table, who had been talking to C2 about strip clubs and hookers, he's picked up. He got 2 hookers. He's like 30 feet away from the table with the 2 hookers, talking loudly to seat 2, who's now in seat 8 by the way, calling him on the phone even though they're 30 feet from each other, asking him if he's going, if he's leaving poker to go with the guy and the hookers. The guy and the 2 hookers are standing there for like 15 minutes, but seat 8, well, seat 2 turned seat 8, just wants to keep playing. So seat 8 is rebuying for $100 and just shoving it like every single hand. He wants to get as much poker in as he could get in before he leaves with this guy and the hookers. So at this point, he's just rebuying, shoving the 100 dark, losing. This is going on for a long time. So the last hand Rice played against this guy was he shoved under the gun, everyone folded, Rice was last to act, Rice called with king 10. No improvement on the run out, but the guy showed 9-3 offsuit, so Rice took that one down, took another 100 off that guy, and along the way Rice won pretty good pots with an overpair, 6s, 4-ways on like a 10-9, 3-3, 2 board, and top pair. So in addition to just winning hands against this guy, Rice was doing pretty good. Actually stuck like 400 early, but Rice made a pretty big comeback. Rice was down 380 or 400 at Rice's worst point, and ended up winning 581 on the night. But Rice did manage to get 2 clips from the table. This first one was when the guy was shoving 100 nonstop. He eventually won one of them, got up to 200, shoved that, got called. Here's that clip, so enjoy this.
Oh my God. I would. Oh yeah, I was gonna call it.
You want to see it? Can I see? Can you pull up yours? Oh my God. Deuce.
Oh my God.
That's the action, right? No, I love it. Trust me, I had 2 3.
And the other clip Rice got was just the chatter with him and us at the table and the dealer feeling the Red Bull the guy spilled on his chips when he bet 100 dark. People are yelling out to the hookers and the guy with the hookers like 30 feet away. You hear the dealer ask Rice what spilled because we weren't going to get an answer from that guy. So Rice is telling him Red Bull spilled, but Rice cleaned it up pretty good.
That is 100. Do I have 100?
You got 100.
Well, if you don't have 100, close to it again.
Yeah, you got 100.
I got you. I mean, it's all. What'd you spill over here? Red Bull?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm coming. Hey,
I cleaned it up pretty good, but yeah, there's still some Red Bull over there.
Come shoot. Shoot, 1 sec. I'm coming. Let me take your spot. Where is it going? Where are they going? Like, where are they going? Where are they going?
Oh no.
Where are they going?
If I had.
And that was just a fantastic and a really fun game. Fun in addition to winning. It was fun, just the chatter and the stories that came out of it. Probably in like the last 2 years, the best table for Rice, really, when you consider the conversations and the events and the hookers and the hands and everything. Favorite table of the past 2 years, probably.